Ladies and gentlemen, a happy Friday to all of you. And I wish happy Dhanteras to all Indians out there who are celebrating Diwali. May this auspicious occasion ushers in wealth, good health, and success in your life. So we are coming live today to bring you the latest updates about the latest recent migration updates. There are extreme good news that have come from the migration side, and we have received a lot of updates from the migration regarding 186, 482 employer sponsored program, and apart from that, NSW has also opened their 491 requirements for this financial year, which we were waiting from long time. Now we'll start with the updates, and once everyone gets joins, keep your questions ready and type in your questions. By end of this live session, we will answer all your queries regarding any migration questions. So let's not make further delays, and we'll start with the live session. So to start with, so basically the immigration landscape, particularly within the ENS migration program, the modification brings about a host of positive adjustment into the Australian migration system. Now, what changes government has brought up in last week? With the last week, the first set of change to the TSS legislation that was starting from 25th November 2023. So within just 15 days itself, the restrictions on lodging 3 or more subclass 482 for an applicant without having leaving Australia has been lifted. So earlier, guys, what used to happen is that if you are on a 482 visa under short-term stream, applicant had to leave Australia to lodge the third renewal 482, so under short-term stream specifically. Now, government has removed the entire restrictions, and now all 482 applicants, whether it's short-term stream or medium and long-term, you guys will be able to lodge 482 onshore. This is fantastic news, I would say, because it's ensuring a smoother and more seamless process for all the applicants, regardless of the stream. Now, moving on to the 186 TRT stream. Right now, as you may all aware, that department has reduced their allocations regarding the skilled visas and everything. So people are more, transforming their visas to 482, finding their employers in the right direction, and they are actually focusing to get a sponsorship from their employer. In this case, 186 TRT stream is come into a very important role. Why? Because if earlier applicant is currently holding 482, they were only eligible to lodge 186 TRT stream, and if they are holding 482 under MLT SSL, which is medium and long-term stream. Now they have changed their requirement, and now short-term stream, labor agreement, or even medium and long-term, they will be able to lodge 186 TRT stream. This is one of the biggest change that they have made in recent times. So I would say this is very extremely good news regarding in the Australian migration. Now, regarding the time requirement for 482 visa holders, starting from 25th November itself, they are only required to have held and worked for their sponsoring employer for 2 years out of last 3 years before applying. Now, this change offers more flexibility and eases out the burden on our hardworking visa holders to not keep working for 3 years on 482. Rather, they would focus on just working for 2 years, and later on they will be eligible to apply for 186 TRT stream. Now, this is very important update, because everyone was worrying that if we lodge 482 now, we will get eligible for 186 after 3 years. No, not now they have changed it, and the only question here is about that to find an employer, work with them for 2 years, and apply for 186. For those who are wondering about scenarios where a 482 holder changes employer within the 2 years period, rest assured there are concessions in place in outlining the policy of the immigration. This includes the ability to work in associated entity or in case where there is a change of employer, but the nature of work remains the same due to business restructure or sale. So many had the question that if we are going for 482, can we change your employer or not? So the answer is if the employer, if you're working for associated entity, but the business structure or sale, are this, or the sale are in the same sector, you can, but still confirm it with the migration agent before even you think about changing your employer on 482 visa. Exciting time indeed. Yes, I know that. These changes in ENS migration program are designed to simplify the immigration process and make it more accessible to skilled individuals like yourself. So guys, right now the way migration of the Australian migration is working is all about that how you are making your strategy in order to get your invitation as soon as possible. It's all about that how you strategize yourself, how you plan your permanent residency pathway ASAP. Now with this one, let's talk about the 491 invitations. Now 491 requirement, it's pretty simple. They have introduced two pathways. Pathway 1, which is apply directly to investment NSW if you have established NSW based employer, if you have been working with that employer from last 12 months and your salary is more than 70,000, which is Smit salary requirement. And the pathway 2, just lodge an EOI, wait for invitation from the NSW, and if your occupation is falling under priority sector, yes, you will be prioritized to get an invitation. But if your occupation does not fall under priority sector, then you might have to wait for a couple of months, I would believe. Again, we have not received any invitations so far for this financial year for 491 because they have not started their invitation run. We are expecting that they would be announcing their invitation round shortly by next month. Let's wait for that. So I'll explain you the in-depth pathway 1 requirement so that apply directly to the investment NSW. If you have work history with a regional NSW based employer, you need to be residing and working in regional area to get an invitation from pathway 1. Now to be eligible for you must be living and working in and continuously done so far for past 12 months. Your qualifying skill employment in the 12 months immediately before applying, that you need to make sure that you meet the specific criteria, including being with a single regional NSW based employer, you have skills assessment, you meet the requirement of Home Affairs. Now coming on to pathway 2, that you need to be invited by investment NSW first. So you lodge your UI, you meet the basic eligibility requirement outlined by Home Affairs, and having a valid skill assessment is in an eligible occupation is the must requirement. Whether you choose pathway 1 or 2, ensure you carefully review the eligibility requirement before submitting your expression of interest. Because if you are invited to apply, be prepared to provide and all the documents that you have provided the claims for. If you fail to provide any documents that you have claimed any points under, then there is a good chances of getting a refusal for the NSW. Now to start with, I would, I have been getting questioned that should we focus on skill migration or should we go under employer sponsor stream? My simple advice would be that focus on skill migration. Yes, definitely. But if you are skilled migrants, if you think that yes, you can get a job in your own field, I would definitely suggest you to proceed for to find an employer who can sponsor you. And after having 2 years of work experience, you can actually get a sponsorship. This could be your plan B. People are getting relaxed for 5 years of temporary residency or 3 years of temporary residency. I would advise everyone to get a job in your respective field and then make sure that you, talk about sponsorship. You can also, if your occupation is falling under medium and long term, if you have a skills assessment, you can apply direct 186, with the direct entry. Also with the skilled migration, right now, everyone would have questioned that if I'm on a 90 points or 80 points or something like that, will I get a chance? Now with 189 invitation round, we have not heard about any invitation round so far for 189. But if you're talking about 190, we recently had 2 invitation round where they mentioned about the priority sector, and they have invited nurses, urban regional planners, and many other occupations. In IT as well, they have invited software engineers. So if you guys are holding your EOI and you are currently at 80 or 85 points, I would advise you to go above that and be at 90, 95 or 100 points. This would definitely help you to get your invitation in the respective field. Now, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to write it down in the comment section and I'll answer one by one. Let's start with the questions round. Now, we have a question that if I file my EOI and if I go overseas for 2 months on annual, 2 months annual and get an invite there, it is considered offshore or onshore. Now, if you have lodged your EOI onshore and if you are just traveling to offshore just for temporary purpose, just to visit your family, friends, just going on a holiday, it will be still counted as your onshore application. And the reason is you need, and to prove that, you need to keep yourself ready with the documentation of ongoing rent receipts, your rent payment, utility bills payment, your phone bills. If you have been receiving any annual leave, then you should provide those documents. So that is more important. Now, with this case, it goes case by case basis. We have received many approvals on this kind of basis if they are out of the country for more than 2 months or 3 months. So yeah, it depends on case by case basis. Now, going on to the another question is 190 NSW at 90 points for accountant, external auditor, finance manager. Please reckon. Now, with this one, I would say 90 points is good enough. I won't say it's not, but having said that, you are holding occupation which is not under priority list. Now, if it's not under priority list, then you may get a consultation and ask if you have any other options based on your bachelor's degree or based on your experience. We might be able to get another skills assessment, and maybe that falls in the priority sector. So it is always better to get a second opinion from a migration agent or someone. But 90 points right now as an accountant, it's good, but they are not under priority. So you might need to wait for a couple of months before you get an invitation. But there's a good possibility. Will 189 round happen this year? Chances for external auditor with 85 points. Now, as you may all aware that for 189 invitation round happened last year, it was at 65 points for external auditor. Now, with this case, right now, we haven't got any invitation for this financial year. And because of that reason, we do not have actual data where we can actually demonstrate that, yes, this has been invited or no. Even last year was a sudden invitation round with the huge surprises coming along with that. But for this year's surprise, we'll have to wait for the department to invite us. Now, we have received a question from Amira, is that are there any changes in the nomination procedures for 482 that applicants should be aware of? Amira, I'll just mention during the start of this session is that with the nomination process, they have not changed it, but again, they are announcing their entire requirement on 25th November 2023, which is the main important day when this entire migration policy will be announced. We are not sure that will they change the LMT requirement or not. We'll have to wait and see that what's the update coming from that. But as of now, the requirements that has been changed is for short-term list, medium and long-term list. That has, like with the process, it's been the same. Question from Rebecca is that I have a nursery person experience and position, but have a horticulture certificate 3. Do you think I have a chance for positive skills assessment as a gardener? They are closely related occupation. Now, Rebecca, with this one, I would require you to, I would require to see the duties, what you actually perform in your employment. If you're performing pretty that is relevant to your occupation, then we can see what is the skill assessment requirement for that. And once we get the confirmation that yes, we can proceed for the skills assessment. But again, we will require your duties to identify the possible occupation. Now, question from Sanya is, are RDS open yet for 491? Sanya, with this financial year, RDS are not open, but yes, the 491 requirement has been out. So there are 2 pathways, pathway 1 and pathway 2. Like I mentioned during the start of the session, is that if you have been working in NSW regional, you fall under pathway 1 from last 1 year. If you are not working, if you are residing in any other part of the NSW, then you will fall under pathway 2. Question from Sumina is that want to come to Australia, how can I apply for apply? And are there any new occupation that have been added onto the list? Now, Sumina, yes, there have been a lot of new occupation that has been added, but it depends on what you have studied and in which occupation your experience fall under. Based on that, we can identify your occupation and we can get your skills assessment and we can apply your permanent residency directly from outside of Australia. Question from Kshitij is that, are there any specific professions that NSW is currently prioritizing for migration? Yes, definitely. NSW is more focusing on health, education, ICT infrastructure, and agriculture. And with that infrastructure, ICT, nurses, health, they have been invited recently. So guys, if you're falling under those sectors, don't fail to lodge your E1. And if you require any assistance, feel free to contact us. We have a question from Mohammed that T. Smith can pay from 1st August 2023, or it should be from 12 months. It should be from 12 months. So for last 1 year, you have been paid 70,000 and you've been working for the same company. You cannot change the company. Question from Sanjana, 85 points for telecom engineer or technologist, 190 NSW chances. Sanjana, you have a pretty good chances, but at 85, yes, again, I would recommend to increase points. Another question is, what are my chances as a hotel motel manager with 80 points to migrate to get PR 190 491 in any state? If I do get invited for 491, should I work as hotel manager and earn 70,000 per year? Thank you so much. Hotel motel manager, yes, you have a good chance of getting invitation again, but you have to identify which state actually prioritizing your occupation under which strain. Now, if you are actually at 80 points, I would still say that increase your points. But if you do get invited, and once you come on 491, you do not need to work as a hotel motel manager. You can work in any sector. There is no income requirement as of now for 491. Income requirement was there, but they have removed their requirements pretty much this financial year. So yes, you can work in any sector. We have a question from Margal. What resource or support services are available for migrants after updates in NSW to help them settle and integrate into community? Now, Margal, NSW government believes that once you get invited and once you get the visa grant, you will have to come here and accommodate yourself. Yes, if you do need any assistance, basically, yes, we do not provide those service, but yes, as a with a goodwill, we can provide you assistance. But again, NSW government does not offer you any for sure help to settle in the community. Question from Vikram is 75 points for pharmacist for 491. What are the chances? Vikram, for pharmacist at 75 points, again, there will be an extreme competition there. I would say move to regional area, work with the employer in regional area for 12 months continuously, then you will have a very good chances. But if you have been waiting for 75 points outside of NSW, regional NSW, it's going to be difficult. Now I'll take few guys. If you have any, feel free to drop your questions. All right. We'll keep this session this much. And if you have any question regarding any migration services, or if you want to know more about 186, 190, 491, 482, anything about employer sponsor updates or anything, feel free to contact us. We have received one. We are going to take one last question and we'll wrap it up. Software tester 491, 90 points. Will it work? Or I need to jump to superior English? I would say, Arjit, jump on to superior English. It will help you to get your invitation a little bit faster than you're thinking. All right, guys. Thank you so much for attending this live session. Keep joining us and we'll catch soon.